I just can't give it up. Yeah, yeah. Yes sir, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy Denali, aka Don Squally, and in today's video, man, we are back at it with another G35 Coupe video. So if you guys saw my last video, I introduced the new car to the channel. This is a 2004 G35 Coupe, rear wheel drive, automatic, a little bit beat up. But we did a few things to spruce her up. I painted the grille black, put an infinity emblem on there, duct taped up the big hole on it, and we also spray painted the completely rusted out rear fenders. And I gotta say, man, this thing looks night and day from what it did in the last video. But if you guys did see the last video, I did say that I was keeping the plans for this car a secret until today, which is going to be the video that I tell you guys what we're doing with this car. So the idea when I bought this car, obviously eventually I'm going to use some parts off of this thing for my sedan. But before we get into exactly what the plans are, I'm going to turn this thing around, pull it into the garage, because if you guys did see my last video, there's actually no heat in this car, and for what I want to do with this thing, I'm going to need the heat. So I'm going to go ahead, pull this thing around, jack the front of the car up, and we're going to see if we can bleed this and get a little bit of heat going in this project. Alrighty, so I got the car in the garage halfway. I'm going to jack the front of the car up and let this thing run for probably, I don't know, half an hour. Let the coolant flow through. We're going to see if we get any air bubbles coming up through the radiator, and we're also going to use the bleeder to bleed this thing off. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is take the cap off the radiator. Now there is a bleeder in behind the plenum. In the past, I've always had luck just bleeding the radiator by letting the heat run and keeping the car running. So we're going to start out with that, and I'll probably end up opening the bleeder at least once or twice just to make sure that all the air is out of the system. But as long as I'm getting heat in the car, that's really what I'm concerned about. Alright, so I'm going to just let this thing run for a little bit. Now I did notice that the temperature gauge inside the car is showing -30. So there's a possibility that the thermostat might also be cooked, but I'm hoping that's just an electrical issue and that not actually the coolant that's the problem. Now I'm noticing we're already starting to overfill here, so I'm going to need my hand. So it is starting to bubble over here. I'm hoping that's the air working its way out. So I'm gonna just let that do its thing. We're gonna go outside and talk about what's going on with this car, man. Okay, so it's a little quiet out here. We can actually have a conversation. So what the plan is for this G35 is I plan on obviously lifting it. I did talk about in the last video how I want to put the OEM suspension back on this. There is a potential that I might even put a lift kit on it, because what I want to do is lift this thing, put some off-road tires on it, maybe get some wheels off of an FX35 or a Nissan Murano or something like that. Throw those on here. I'll probably have to chop the fenders, do all that good stuff. I want to put some tire chains on it, and then I plan on putting this bad boy on. Now this is my snowplow that I was running last season on my Toyota Tundra. Now it is a hitch mount plow, meaning that it attaches to a trailer hitch. This is the piece that raises and lowers it. Goes into the trailer hitch, and then the plow mounts on here, and then the winch lifts it up and down. Now I have already purchased a trailer hitch for this. There it is right there. Now the plan is not to run it on the back of the car for a couple reasons. I had it on the back of this truck and it was just really awkward to maneuver and back in and out, back in and out. I'd much rather prefer if it was on the front. So the idea with this thing is to remove the front bumper and find a way to mount that hitch to this aluminum rad support here. Now I'm hoping it's going to be stiff enough to hold everything on. I'm basically going to be using some U-bolts and bolting the hitch to either side, hopefully close to the frame. And then obviously the bumper, we'll see if we can keep it on, maybe cut a hole for the hitch to come through. But then it'll be mounted on the front. I'll just be running my electrical, and then, you know, hopefully with some tire chains. Now obviously this is an open differential. It being an automatic, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to drive in the snow. And I may have said it wasn't even possible, but this truck right here is also two-wheel drive and an open diff, and with tire chains on this thing and winter tires, it had no problem. I never got stuck once, and I was able to pretty much plow the driveway the entire winter. I don't even think I pulled out the snowblower once last year. So I'm hoping with the same formula on this car, lifting it up, putting a set of, like, you know, even SUV tires like this that are on this thing, just something to give me a little more ground clearance with the stock suspension, plus maybe a 1-inch, 2-inch lift. Hopefully that's something, you know, we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna do it regardless. Whether it works, I could be completely crazy, but I think it'll be a fun project for YouTube anyways. Let's see if we're getting any heat in here. Still nothing, so it's possible it could be a thermostat. I am gonna let it run though, because it's still pretty cold. And then eventually, if this thing does work as a snowplow, it's gonna just be a designated plow vehicle. I think probably not this winter, but next summer, if this thing survives the winter and it does good, I'm probably gonna turn this thing into a pickup truck or a ute. I've seen a couple of videos online of these cars where they basically, I keep going in and out here, basically cut the car off right here at this line. So you have the door and everything, and then back here I would be cutting it across here. I'd probably keep the back of the trunk, but then cut a strip here as kind of a, you know, a tailgate, and then weld some panels in here, seam seal it, all that good stuff. Might do some patch panels on here, and then give this thing like a rattle can paint job, maybe some sort of like an army green or a matte green. I think that would look pretty good. So that's the plan. First and foremost though, we got to get the heat working in this thing, because I'll be damned if I'm going to be plowing in a vehicle with no heat. That's for damn sure. I did see some videos online where I had to rev this thing up to 3K, so I'll do that now, I guess. There goes my phone, never fails in this bloody thing. I think I'm feeling some heat. Oh my goodness, it's working. I am feeling heat right now. Oh, that is a beautiful sight. A beautiful feeling. Oh, and we are smoking. We're smoking. Oh, what in the world's going on here? Okay, so I think that was just a big air bubble popping through there. It looks like it's gone down. And I think when the bubble came up, it might have got some stuff on the belt. Seems okay now, but we were definitely smoking there. Let's see if we still got heat happening here. No, the heat's gone now. See if we can get a couple more bubbles popping out of there. Alright, so I think we're making progress. She just drank a whole lot of coolant and I'm seeing a few bubbles coming out. So I'm gonna go rev it up a bit more. A little bit of coolant on the belt there, but drank a bit more. Okay, so we've run into a bit of a problem. The bleeder valve, when I was going to open it, I just got the heat, dumped about a whole jug of coolant in here, and that bleeder valve, the plastic, I was going to undo it, just friggin' snapped. So I gotta find a section of pipe to throw in there now, which is just great. Whole garage is just smoked out. I literally, right when I was getting heat, went to go do like what I was gonna say one last oh man, that is a pain in my ass. But okay, so I guess that's where we're gonna leave off here. I'm gonna go back and get some coolant. I'm gonna have to wait to run to the store to get some coolant because my kid's sleeping and my girl's not here. So in the next video, we're gonna have heat because that was definitely the problem, bleeding it. And in the next video, we're probably gonna mount the snowplow, and yeah, that should be interesting. Get the suspension out, and I'm gonna try to find a stock set of suspension as well. In the meantime, this is where we're going to leave you guys. I'm your boy, Denali, a.k.a. Don Squally. It's an old Nissan, man. Nothing ever goes as planned with an old Nissan. Oh, man. Killing me out here. So, yeah. Just want to say thank you guys for watching. We're going to catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace. I fucking hate Nissan so much.